My name's Stephen Silverbeard and welcome to my No Man's Sky Permadeath playthrough. And the reason I'm hovering over my base is that I want to get a record of my base in its current state and the planet around it in preparation for the arrival of the next update. Because, well, how can you say, guys? The hype train has left the station, left the rails, gone completely into orbit, and I've just spent the last nearly 5 hours, I think, watching YouTube videos, reading articles, and it's left me both very confused and with a headache, which means all I really want to do at the moment is just go and sit in a dark room, close my eyes, and just try and forget everything that I've read and watched. And I have to admit, I did get a bit hooked into the hype train. I did make a video, I did rush it. It was a voiceover video, and I'm not sure exactly what went wrong, but the volume was terrible. I've now subsequently removed that from the channel. Apologies for any of you guys who managed to struggle through it. I did raise a couple of points which I will go over in this video, but what I want to do is keep this video short, and this is more a piece of information for any of you guys who follow the channel. This is going to be the last video before the next update comes out, because I did try to make a normal video of just normal gameplay, but it's very difficult with all the changes, and all I did was I kept talking about the update, and I think there's so many people jumping in on the bandwagon talking about the next update, what the new features are, the implications of multiplayer. There's some familiar faces that have suddenly become born again No Man's Sky players, probably because it's such a big sensation that's coming out, and I don't want to be part of that group, to be honest, guys. I've played No Man's Sky consistently since it came out in 2016. I've always had some on my channel, and I just don't want to be involved in this massive hype chain of speculation and all that's going on. So all I really want to do, guys, is wait for the next update to come through and start playing the game, and let's see what's actually in the game. Personally, based on what's happening now, I think Hello Games have fallen into the same trap as they did when the game was first released, probably because a little bit of pressure from Microsoft. I think they should have just released the trailer, a little bit of information, remained quiet, and then do exactly what they did with the Foundation update and Atlas Rises, release the games and let the players experience the new changes. Because all this run up and all this extra information, you've got these articles coming out, it's just building up a vast amount of expectation, and I've got a feeling that a lot of people are going to be very deflated when the next update comes out. Not that I'm knocking the next update, it's going to be a terrific update. There's lots of new visual effects, the universe is going to be reset, multiplayer is going to be here, we're going to be able to have multiple bases, fleets of ships, although I think they will still be based around a single command ship stroke freighter. And there's going to be a big emphasis on community and new missions and all that, which I all hope is going to add to the mid to late games, although I do have some reservations in the fact that the multiplayer has infected Hello Games as well, to the point where I think they might be neglecting single player. I hope that's not true, but well, you can only find out when we actually play the game. So that's my current position. I know some of you guys might be a bit upset about that, but I just think there's just too much information now, and it's not like the next update is a week away. It's only 3 days away if it's true what they say it's going to be released on the 24th. And I feel by watching the videos, in fact I'm not going to watch any more videos and at all from now on, because I've got a feeling it's already distorting my perception of what the update is going to be. Anyway, let's just get in here before I freeze to death. So that's very much my personal opinion. If you guys want to watch all the other videos, feel free to do it. I mean, there is a lot of information out there, but be careful to try and separate the fact from the speculation. I mean, some of the articles I've read are based on half an hour's of gameplay, and I think if any of you guys have experienced No Man's Sky players, half an hour of gameplay can't tell you very much unless it's very artificial gameplay, like the the people who experience that half an hour are being dropped into very specific scenarios. Maybe they're inheriting a game from somebody who's been playing it for a long time, like effectively say I handed over my game to one of you guys. So I'm not putting too much store on those impressions, and at the same time I don't want those impressions to distort my impressions of the game, because that was what happened when the game first came out. But enough of that, guys. What I want to do now is just talk about the way my channel is going to represent No Man's Sky going forward, and this is the way I plan to deal with the next update. Is there's so much change that I'm going to start a new playthrough. It will most likely be survival, but at the same time the Hello Games have confirmed that existing save games will be able to be used, because if you actually look out, there's a new website come out where they've now gathered the information of communities and places of interest, which is going to form the foundation of the community grouping. That's going to be something very, very interesting to do. The way I'm going to be covering No Man's Sky going forward is I'm going to increase the number of parts per week to 4, but what I will be doing is a No Man's Sky video every other day, so it won't be the same day, it'll be every other day. As I said, I'm going to start a new series. I'm going to keep the current series going. Now it won't be like 2 parts new series, 2 parts old series. What I'll be doing is mixing the new and the old series together according to what I feel is interesting. So obviously when this first starts, the focus would be more on the new series going forward, the experience of starting the game. Is it the same as the old game? And the 4th part will be from this current series as I look at the new features, because obviously I'm going to have the assets and resources maybe to start building up a fleet. Then as time goes forward, it might go 2 and 2, it might go 3, 1 the other way. So what will appear will be a mixture of the 2 series according to what is actually going on, and I hope you guys will like that. I mean, if you've got any comments and feedback, guys, just feel free to whack it into the video description. I mean, if you think that's a good idea, if you think there's a better way to do it, I'm open to suggestions. But I just want to cover the aspects of the game and go forward. And what I want to do is literally represent what is in the game, what is good, what is bad. I mean, not everything's going to be positive. And so I'm just going to announce now, guys, I'm off the hype train. However, guys, what I do want to do is make a few observations, which I did touch on in the video I deleted, and I do want to talk about them in here. Not so much in this is the way it's going to be, but I do want any of you guys who are getting too overhyped, I want to give you a little bit of a reality check, especially with respect to multiplayer. There's a lot of people currently running away with the idea that somehow No Man's Sky is going to translate into some MMO game where we're all going to be able to see each other, all play together in large groups. I don't think that is the way that it's going, because if you actually read the small print, it says groups of 4 players, and the implication that I'm getting is that if you're going to play together as a team, you've got to join the game as a team. So effectively you've got to join other players, join the game in some starting scenario. I don't know if we would be able to drop into the game in a pre-form mode. I don't know what the implications for that is for anyone who's running an existing campaign. But you're going to have groups of 4 players. Now, whether those 4 players can meet another 4 players, because in the current model of No Man's Sky, you have lobbies of 16 players. So if you get 32 players in the same area, they are split up into groups of 16. So I think this idea that you're going to be able to go to a community event and meet, say, 50, 60 people who stood around is probably not correct. I mean, this is just my opinion from what people are talking. And I just get that feeling, guys, that there's a lot of people going to buy the game, come into the game with great expectations of multiplayer, and they are going to be slightly disappointed. So I just want to put that reality check in. And I also want to extend that to the fact that No Man's Sky is going to be available on 3 platforms, and that's the PC, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. Now, Sony and Microsoft don't play very well together, and I can't see them suddenly joining forces to improve the game player experience, because they are competitors. So I've got a feeling that in multiplayer mode there is going to be a split between people on different platforms, and I think if you want to play as a group of 4, you're all going to have to be on the same platform, because I did read somewhere, and apologies I can't say exactly where because I've just watched so much, my brain is completely fried, that if you encounter somebody else in multiplayer, there will be some kind of default view. Now I don't know what that actually means. Now whether that is if you meet someone on another platform, because obviously the platforms will be doing things in different ways, or whether if that's another person in multiplayer who's not part of your group of 4. I mean, I don't know as it works, but it's kind of almost says like the customization and some game features will be standardized on some multiplayer contacts. I mean, I hope it's not right. I mean, because again, it's going to just give ammunition to the No Man's Sky knockers, people who will be looking for faults, and that will be a little bit of a disappointment. So I just want to put that warning in there for you guys, that just have the experience and the way it's going to go. And I think now the next thing I want to talk about is these multiplayer missions, because what they're saying is that on the freighters there will be a terminal. This is what makes me feel that every fleet will only have one freighter command vessel, and whether we're going to be able to have multiple fleets or multiple freighters, they're not particularly that clear, because they say multiple ships. So I'm not sure whether we're still going to have one command vessel. So again, I think that's something that we need to step back a little bit. But on this ship will be a multiplayer mission terminal. Now, I don't know whether that is going to be exclusively multiplayer, and that means effectively people who play single player, which is probably the way that I will play the game, will be shut out from those missions, or whether it's going to be something like there will be missions that can be played in multiplayer. So there might be a play of words in this area. Again, this is another reason why I'm getting off the hype train, guys. Now, returning to the difference between single player and multiplayer, I've got a feeling that the game itself is going to be fundamentally multiplayer, the same way as if you join an MMO or something like that. It will be there as an environment for you to experience. So even if you're playing the game as a single player, i.e. not part of a group of 4 people, you will still be able to encounter and interact with other people. It's just that the experience might be slightly different. That's what I'm hoping, guys. And that spins back to these missions, that I'm hoping that these missions will actually allow single players to participate, because another element they've announced is this community events, and I think it wouldn't be fair if people who are playing the game solo are not able to decide to turn up to one of these events and interact. And I'm hoping that is what's going to be true. But again, it all needs to be subject to confirmation. I don't know why I'm walking around this base here. I think I'm just walking around while I'm talking, to be honest. So again, I think we just need to manage that expectation in that sense. Now, I think that's about it, guys. I don't want to drag this video out too long. I want to keep it short, partly because I do have a splitting headache. And I suppose the one thing I do need to talk about is the fact that the new, or they say it's the second in-game currency, but if any of you guys are familiar with the game, we've already got 2 currencies. We've got units and nanites, but it seems we're going to get another currency, and that currency is going to be earned from missions. I'm going to be very interested to see how that actually is going to work, and there's going to be another trading environment there. Now, personally, I would think that is an overcomplication. I'm hoping that maybe they're going to extend nanites, or maybe replace nanites with something else that acts as a second currency, because what they're saying is that we will be able to buy customizable objects, new base features using this currency. Now, Hello Games have emphasized that this is not microtransactions. This is going to be purely an in-game currency, which is good. It's just, I just have a bit of a concern about how that's going to work, and I just wonder whether it's going to be part of a wider trading system, because one of the other things they've talked about is that players will be able to trade between each other. Look at that, nice little baller hanging around on my base. So that's something else to think about, guys, and I think this is where I'm going to stop. because I am now starting to do exactly what I said I wouldn't do, which is speculating about the next update. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting. Feel free to add comments and any information that you find, and apologies that I'm going to go quiet now until the next update drops, but it's only going to be a few days. I'm only going to miss probably one part, but I think in the light of what's going on, I just do need to take a break and sit in that dark room, close my eyes, maybe take a couple of headache tablets and just think about what could be, and then hopefully when the next update drops I'll be able to come in with a nice fresh clear mind and just be really chilled out about what I'm going to see. And this is where I'm going to stop. So hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.